Welcome, everyone. We are live. We are live on this glorious Thursday. As you well know, it is pitch black outside, and winter is coming. Ah, I'm not ready, but I better get ready because winter is on her way. Listen, last night, if you were here for the lecture, something stuck out to me. Neville explained why you should be for something instead of being against something, right? Because this is what makes us move the way we feel. And so we tend to put our attention upon the things that move us in whatever way, shape, fashion, or form. And it's usually when we are against something, we will act, we will push against it. We'll fight against it. We'll riot. We'll picket. We will march. You understand? That's always against. The intent is against. But how about being for? To be for your betterment. They're not the same thing when you think about it. To be against something and to be for what you want to be in the world. They're two different places. They're two different mindsets. You understand? So when you are for something, you are driven by something completely different. You are driven by, it's only a matter of degree between the two. Because when you say, oh, look at my life, instead of running from pain, pushing against pain, do you see where your attention is when you push against something? It's squarely upon the thing that you don't want to participate in. It's against the thing you don't want to participate in. So if you are pushing against the thing you don't want to participate in, Neville put it eloquently. He said, you just make it bigger. You just make it bigger when you push against it. So if you put your attention upon that which you want to be, what happens there? Well, that becomes bigger. You see, we think that those two things are the same. But Angela, how can you not protest if you're for your own freedom? Because you're not focused on your freedom. You're focused on the protest against your oppression. Think about it. Mull it over for a minute. What has you going in that place? What has you going out into the street to riot, to picket? What has you going out there? The fact that you don't like what is happening to you. That's what makes you leave and go out there and do what you're doing. What if, just, what if it was your passion to succeed? What if it was your passion to be the man or the woman you want to be that drove you to get out of bed every day? That drove you to speak? That drove you to act? Those are two separate things. Pushing against and moving with are two separate things. They look the same. Because when you're in the ocean, or when you're in a pool, a wave pool, and the wave comes in, the wave is going to move you. Of course it is. Which way are you moving? Are you jumping into the wave or are you riding the wave? Which one? Jumping into the wave meets with resistance. It pushes you. It pushes back at you. But when you start now to go with the wave, now you become a surfer, don't you? You're riding the wave. You are using something for your benefit instead of, you're using something for your benefit, yes, instead of pushing against the thing that you don't want. So this is why it is important to remember not to push against something. Because if you think about it, we tend to, we love hard, but we, well, dislike harder, don't we? And it was funny because the lecture from last night was from 1964. March the 17th, 1964 is when that lecture was from. But look at what he was talking about. He says it's a political year. Where are we right now? A political year. And I said it last night. I said, because some of us feel like, oh, well, I can't vote for her. I can't give her my vote. Well, I can't vote for him. And we argue as to why we cannot vote for someone. If you cannot vote for someone, then where do you put your energy? You put your energy for something. Whether, you see, because politically right now what's happening is federally. It's countrywide. So you feel like you can't get behind any of those. That's all right. Where in your municipality can you get behind? What can you get behind in your state, in your city? There must be someone there that you can rally behind that is for something. I want you to ponder that, because it stuck so much with me that I have to get up and speak about it this morning. When we push against, we make that thing stronger. Because we don't just push against with one person. Look at how many millions of people live in the United States of America. There's about 44 million in Canada. If everybody is focused on who they dislike as their prime minister or their president-elect, where is all of the energy going? Towards that person. So they just get stronger. And we keep thinking that we have to fight harder. Well, yes, Gary, what you resist persists, and it's not because you're resisting it, it's because your attention is upon it. Your attention, hello, sweet girl. You see, your attention is on it. So if your attention is on it, that's what makes things grow, attention. So Neville Goddard says things wither and die for want of attention. So the key is not to be anti anything. Don't fight against it. Support what you believe in. Now, I've always said in politics, we are only ever given the choice of the lesser of two evils. On one hand, there's one set of evil. On the other, there's an evil that you don't know because you don't see it. And then there's an evil that you can see. You're going to have to choose. So this is why I say we have the power to influence our leaders. Oh, you don't think that we can? Listen, of course you do. You might not like your choice. But what if you did not tear them down? Let me think about it. Let me say it to you. What if you didn't tear them down? Oh my God, because Neville Goddard used the example last night with this man who just abhorred Roosevelt. He could not stand this man that every day when he got up and he shaved in the mirror, he would cuss this man out. Now, instead of cussing him out, why not begin to whisper upon the wings of the wind what you would have this man do for his country and people in it? Oh, but Angela, you can't do that. There's no possible way to influence anybody. Yeah, it is. My mother does it all the time. When she says to me, oh my goodness, I willed you to call me. I was thinking about you. And I said, nah, let her call me. She'll call me. And she sat there and she focused on me, and what she wanted me to do was to call her. And so I called her. That's how you do it. You will them to do it. Meaning, it is the law of gender. You get an idea in your head and you project it outward. Projection is masculine. You're projecting that thought outward. Well, that thought doesn't just fizzle away. It penetrates the mental womb of the person. Think about it. A whole group of people dislike someone. Do you think they can't feel it? They say to themselves, oh my goodness, I know I probably don't stand a chance because look at how many people hate me. And the very fact that they acknowledge how they are perceived in the world opens them up to what you send them. If you feel a particular way about yourself, and somebody comes along, they're going to confirm how you feel about yourself. As within, so without. You cannot escape it. So this is why, if you put your energy into being for something, so instead of being afraid of change, you're anti-change, instead of being afraid of that, what about being excited about what you could become? Those are two different things. Oh my God, I'm so scared. What if I fail? And the other hand, you're like, oh my God, I am so excited about who and what I am becoming. And you give that all your attention. What do you possibly think would happen? Well, you will change to become it. Just like you would change to embody that which you dislike. The reason we embody anything is because we give it our attention. How do I mean by give it our attention? We imagine. Sometimes we imagine the worst case scenarios. Sometimes we imagine the best case scenarios. If someone leaves your house and you tell them, call me when you get home, so I know you made it home. But they get home and they're so tired, they just go right to bed and they don't call you. Now, if you're anything like me, because I know me, man, I begin to panic and I'm like, should I call the hospital? Like, what should I do? Like, that's how I get. But that's how we all get. We put our attention upon the thing that is most undesirable. Because it's what we do. But what if you turned your attention from what you disliked and put your attention upon what you like? Now, Neville used the scripture last night about any man who looks upon a woman lustfully has already committed the act. That's scripture, right? But we, as a society, have run with that scripture to condemn. But look at what he said to you. The minute you feel the act, you might not do the act physically out there in the world, but the minute you feel the act, you've done it. So what's he saying to you? He's telling you that what you feel, you do. What you feel, you do. So he says to you, feel who you want to become. And once you have felt it, you've done it. And once you've done it in your mind's eye, you will do it in the real world. Well, you entertain something long enough, you'll do it. You see, we seem to think that people get up and just do something. No, when you say, oh my God, I never would have thought that person would have done something like that. How do you just get up one morning and just do that? They didn't just get up one morning and do it. They have been contemplating it for quite some time. I'm telling you, they have contemplated it. They sat there and they thought about it. And they thought about it and they thought about it some more until finally thinking became doing. So don't get it twisted. That's why if you're going to contemplate something, contemplate the thing you want to actually do. Because it is in the contemplation of a thing. What does contemplate mean? To contemplate means you're sitting there, you're mulling it over. Oh my God, if I could just get my hands around this heifer's neck. Well, this is what we do. This is what we do. And we think nothing of it. But if I say to you, don't hate the person. Don't hate them. Don't spend your time thinking about what they've done to you. Because the more you spend your time thinking about what they've done to you, the more upset you become. What did you expect was going to happen? You keep mulling over and going over in your head what they've done. So the angrier you become. And then what happens? Well, then what happens? But then we start doing things we don't actually want to do, but because we've been entertaining it, you're telling yourself, well, that's what I want to do. So this is why when Neville Goddard says be for something, be for something. Don't be against. Because when you go against, you'll do the thing that you're going against. There's another way that the world says it. You live long enough to see yourself become the villain. William Blake said it as well. He said, be careful what you contemplate, because if you hate the oppressor so much, you will become the oppressor. Oh? Of course, because it is what you are thinking about and disliking. So Neville is saying, turn your attention. Now here's the word, lustfully. Because last night, let me tell you, that got to me real good. Remember the scripture, if a man looks upon a woman lustfully, well, he has already committed the act. Instead of using that scripture to condemn a man or a woman, how about you use it to change your life? Well, how? Well, what did he do? He contemplated. What did she do? She contemplated what it would be like. And not just contemplating what it would be like, just mundane and willy-nilly. No. They contemplated what it would be like with pleasure. So in order to help yourself change your life, contemplate what you want to become with pleasure, instead of, well, I could never do that. It's too late for me. I'm too old. What if you contemplated that with, what if you contemplated it with, oh my God, can you imagine at my age? Oh yes, this would be divine. I just saw an ad with Martha Stewart talking about she started her first business when she was 50. What? Was this before or after prison? Wait, I digress. But you see, you can't sit there and say, oh my God, I'm too old. No, don't do that. Don't be against your success. Before your success, by doing what? Contemplating it with pleasure. How so? Oh my God, I might be the oldest to actually do this, or I might be the youngest to actually do this. Oh, I can hardly wait for the world to know my name. Contemplate what you want to become with pleasure. That is what it means to be lustful. You see, we think lust just has to do with sex. No, it has to do with how you contemplate something. And you contemplate it with what? Great pleasure. So you see, today, my beautiful friends, as we go out into this world today, stop being against your coworker or coworkers. Stop being against the man. Stop being against anything, and be for what you want to experience in the world. And if you observe yourself, you will see the difference. If you observe yourself, you will see the difference. You understand? Do you know how you'll see the difference and why you'll see the difference? When you are anti something, what does that make your body feel like? It makes you feel, cranky, persnickety, oh my God, that's what it does. But when you are for something, You're excited. Even if you are anti someone and you think that, oh my God, if this happened to them, I wouldn't bat an eyelash. If you were on fire, I wouldn't even spit on you. You see that? That is still anti. Even though you would take pleasure in harm, that is still anti. Because where are you coming from? I don't like you. That's where it's coming from. I don't like you. Do you see it? You're putting all of your energy outside of yourself to say, I don't like you. I don't like this. I don't like that. Al, come on. Turn your attention inward. Put your attention upon, you know what? Can't nobody break my stride, right? That's where you put your attention upon the fact that, listen, I shall be great today. I'm going to walk through this world with some pleasure today. You understand? I'm going to go through the world and I'm going to feel good, and nothing and nobody is going to take that peace from me. Why? Because I am for my happiness. That's why. Because those are different. If you taste it. Oh, I love what Neville said last night. Because it's in the book of Jeremiah. If memory serves me correctly, I don't remember the verse, but he said, I found your words and I ate them. Oh, this is why scripture tells you taste and see. So taste your fourness. Taste your fourness. Taste your fourness. You want to be successful? Well, then that's all you've got eyes for. I only have eyes for you, right? All you have eyes for is your success. But Angela, wouldn't that be selfish? Let me say this. I'm not saying to you that when you have eyes for yourself that you are shutting out the entire world. No. I'm saying that you are your champion. You are the one in the stands. You know how they had the gladiator? Maximus, Maximus, right? And they're chanting his name. Well, you got to chant your own name. If you are busy chanting your own name, if you could see it, if you could see, I don't even want to call it a force field, but something happens on the outside of you when you are your own champion. Is it Buju Banton who says, you gotta walk like a champion, talk like a champion, right? If you are your own champion, well, as within, so without, then you begin to champion others. Why? Because you're a cheerleader. Oh, I think that I found myself a cheerleader, right? You are your cheerleader. So if you are cheering you on to your success, you are for your success. And as within, so without. All you're doing is cheering yourself. And you will find that as you cheer yourself, it becomes easier to cheer others. Oh, so if I cheer myself, I won't be quote unquote selfish? You see, that's because we have a distorted view of selfish. There is only the self. And when scripture tells you what you've done to the least you've done to me, it's telling you what? There's only the self. So do it for self and you will do it for the quote unquote other. Why? Because you're holding it within you. So the minute you walk out of this into that world and you got hate in your heart because, oh my God, Donald Trump. Oh my God, Kamala Harris. Oh my God, Justin Trudeau. You got hate for them? Listen, you talk to anybody, that hate is going to be pouring out of your body, every single pore of your body. So, today, my beautiful friends, be for your success. Be selfish about it, but of course. Why? Because you are the one holding on to success in your bosom. Now, if you remember your grandmother, because I remember mine, sometimes she'd put her hand in her bra and there's money in there. And I'm like, what's going on? You put that in your bra? Yeah, you put it in your bosom. You hold your success in your bosom. Where? Close to your heart. Hold it there. Oh, yes. Because as long as you have it there, it is the only thing you can project outward. Oh, well, that's the seed. And the seed planted can only bear the fruit that matches it. So, celebrate yourself. Celebrate good, good. I gotta stop with this on YouTube because you know how persnickety they can be with their copyrights and shit. Just take your royalties, I don't care. But I trust today that you get what I'm saying to you. As within, so without. So be for yourself instead of being against the world. You know how they say it's you and me against the world, baby? Stop that. How about you and me for each other? And that's how you'll change the world. There, Rumi say it. Rumi said, "Ooh, I thought I was smart." And I said, let me change the world. But then I became wise and I was like, oh, shoot, I got to change myself. You've got to be for yourself instead of being against something or someone else. Because wherever you are looking at, whatever has your attention has you, and it will become bigger. And it will overwhelm you. Well, feed me, Seymour. You're feeding what you are against with your attention. Again, Neville Goddard, so poetic. Things wither and die for want of attention. Anyway, don't let me keep you all because you know how it is. Your girl's gotta whistle while she works. So I'm not anti my job. I am for me doing what I do and doing what I love. You see? It is a privilege for me to be here with you every single day. Oh, it truly is. And just hang out with you before I go out into the world. You really think it's about you? I'm selfish, remember? I have to raise me up so I can raise you up. Why? Because I have to have elevation in my bosom. How else? Listen, if I am dragging in the gutter, how am I supposed to lift you up? So I can't drag in the gutter. And some days, let me tell you, some days, I got to remind myself, girl, what you doing? Is that really what you're going to sit there and feel? Oh, sure, if you wanted to get bigger, stay there and do it. I can't tell you what not to do. This is how I talk to myself. So, how are you talking to yourself? Are you for your success and that's your conversation? Or are you against talking about, oh, I can't. I'm too old. Oh, I'm just a girl. Oh, I'm just a guy. I can't do these things. Really? You better stop. But I digress. Anyway, I'm channeling my Kim Cuts today. I'm channeling my Get It chick today. If you're on fan base, you know who I'm talking about. I love those ladies. Why? Because they tell it like it is. They just do. And I always said the other day, if I had just 2 drops of that kind of boldness, I wonder what I could accomplish. So I started to walk with that 2 drops of boldness. I tell you, honey. Anyway, let me get the bowl for us. Because my rooster, he's still asleep. My son is still asleep. But before we do that, I didn't even welcome everybody. Hilarion, hey. I see you here on Twitter. I see you. It is truly great to see you. Thank you for being here. YouTube and Facebook. Hey, Gary. Gary. It's good to see you, Gary. And the better man. You are the ones who've made yourselves known in the chat here on YouTube and Facebook. But for the others, oh, I see you too. I sure do. See, I like saying it Gary because Gary is SpongeBob's pet. And just the way he says it, he says Gary, and Gary goes, meow. Sorry, I digress. Listen, it's just early, okay? The sun's not even up yet, but I am up. So the sun is up in me. I digress. Fan base who's here this morning. Hey, honey. Matthias. I cannot believe I just smacked my lips. Lord help me. Afternoon delight is in the house. Moon, and from a distance, dolphin duck. Miss McQueen. Flo Smiles. Hey, honey. Flo Smiles. Tiffany. And I think maybe Javion is already gone, huh? But I still see you, sweetie. KZ. Mm-hmm. You know, we're missing Miss Fawn. And we're missing our Oracle Tree House. But we're still good. Listen, it is early, okay? So I understand. Because my bed said to me this morning, must you get out? Look at how comfortable we are around each other. Must you leave me? What should I do all day as you're gone? And I was like, tell me more. But anyway, I got out of my bed and I was like, I'll be thinking of you fondly, darling, until I see you again. Until we meet again, right? But let's get the bowl. I don't know if you'll get Birdsong because he is asleep in the closet, okay? My baby is asleep. So, what are you going to be for today as you hear the bowl? And maybe Birdsong. What will you hold in your bosom and be for that? You notice what I'm asking you? I'm not asking you what you want to let go. No, I'm asking you what you want to hold on to. Oh dear, I can't even say it. I may find myself in Trump's shoes, so I'm not going to say it. But you hold on to what it is that you want to be and give that your time and attention. So select it. Flip through the Rolodex of your mind as you hear the bowl and select that which you are for in yourself. Let's get the bowl. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love to you, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook fan base. Hold on, honey. I'm coming. Anyhow, I'll see you guys tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I do not recall the title of the lecture, okay? I'll know, because I'll just show up and we'll read it together. And we'll fall asleep in the state of the wish fulfilled. Because let me tell you, I went to bed with that on my mind, and here we are again with it. Yes, most definitely. So I'll see you all tonight. Yes, most definitely. Ah, I haven't said that in forever, Gary. Hasta luego. Well, hasta la mañana. Indeed, my dearest, indeed. All right. Much love, YouTube and Facebook.